Toprak Razgatlioglu is struggling in MotoGP because the tyres punish everything he knows. In 2027, those tyres get replaced by Pirelli, the rubber he spent a decade mastering. The rider Yamaha brought in to develop the project may accidentally become the rider who makes Quartararo's position inside it uncomfortable. That is not the story Yamaha intended to tell when they signed Toprak. It is the story that is quietly taking shape anyway, in a private test at Jerez that nobody announced, in a tyre contract that changes the entire competitive landscape, and in an ambition that Toprak's own manager has never bothered to hide. The surface story is a rookie adapting slowly. The story underneath it is about who controls Yamaha's MotoGP future when the regulations that are coming finally arrive. Kenan Sofuoglu did not send Toprak to MotoGP to learn. He sent him to become faster than Fabio Quartararo. That goal has never been stated quietly, and inside a Yamaha structure that signed both riders, the question of what happens when Toprak actually gets there is one nobody is ready to answer yet. Yamaha did not sign a development rider. They signed a rival for their own leader. They just have not had to manage that yet. If you enjoy these deeper MotoGP breakdowns, the internal manufacturer battles and paddock politics most coverage never explains, subscribe. Quartararo earned his position the hard way. He won the 2021 championship on a Yamaha that most riders found unmanageable, carried the project through seasons where the machinery gave him almost nothing, and has remained the technical and competitive benchmark for everything the factory builds. His status inside Yamaha is not under immediate threat. Toprak is 17th in Thailand, crashed the sprint, and publicly admits that the braking style that won him 3 WorldSBK titles locks the rear and sends him wide on Michelin rubber. Dovizioso, one of the greatest late breakers in MotoGP history, is sitting with him for hours, breaking down a technique that Toprak understands intellectually, but cannot yet execute at race pace. The gap between them in 2026 is not close, but Quartararo's position is built on a specific set of conditions. Michelin tyres, 1,000 cubic centimetre machines, a competitive landscape where his experience and technical depth give him an edge over a rider still learning the fundamentals. Change those conditions and the edge changes with them. The 2027 reset changes all of them simultaneously. New displacement, new machinery, and Pirelli tyres replacing Michelin across the entire grid. For riders who have spent their careers on Michelin, that transition means rebuilding tyre understanding from a reduced baseline. The instincts that work now become less reliable. The setup knowledge accumulated over years becomes less directly applicable. And the first season on the new package is effectively a reset for everyone. For Toprak, it means something completely different. He did not build his WorldSBK dominance on Pirelli in testing sessions. He built it across thousands of competitive race laps at the front of a championship, learning precisely how that rubber responds under extreme braking, under maximum rear load, under the kind of physical aggression that defines his riding style at its best. That knowledge does not disappear because he is struggling on Michelin in 2026. It waits. And in 2027, when every other rider on the grid is starting to build it from scratch, Toprak arrives with it already embedded. If you're the kind of fan who likes understanding what's really happening inside manufacturer structures, not just who is fastest today, but who controls the project tomorrow, subscribe. The Jerez test made it concrete. 3 days. Prototype Pirelli compounds. 850 cubic centimetres machinery that does not yet exist in race trim. MotoGP did not publicise it, but Toprak was there. Not as an observer, not as a rider being evaluated, but as a contributor to the development process for the machinery that will define the next era. The rider who arrived in MotoGP as the newcomer adapting to the current championship is now involved in building the technical foundation of the next one. That shift in context is not symbolic. It is structural. and it places Toprak inside the 2027 conversation in a way that his 2026 results alone never would have. Petrucci saw it clearly in Thailand. By 2027, he said, Toprak's Pirelli familiarity might give him a genuine advantage over riders who have never had to understand that tyre at race pace. That is not a small thing in a field where everyone else is starting from scratch. This is where Yamaha's situation gets genuinely complicated. The structure they built assumes continuity, Quartararo leading, Toprak developing, the hierarchy clear and stable. The 850 cubic centimetres and Pirelli reset does not guarantee that continuity. If the new combination rewards the rear tyre aggression and late braking commitment that Toprak has spent his career perfecting, the adaptation gap that defines 2026 does not simply carry forward. It potentially inverts. The rider who looks least equipped for MotoGP right now may be the most naturally aligned with what MotoGP becomes. And that possibility creates a dynamic inside the Yamaha structure that neither rider has had to openly confront yet, but that the engineers, the strategists, and the people allocating development resources are already thinking about. Because in a manufacturer project, you do not wait until the new era arrives to decide who you are building around. You decide before it. You decide in 2026, while the results still say one thing, and the technical picture is starting to suggest another. Yamaha signed Toprak knowing his ambition. They signed him knowing Sofuoglu's track record of backing riders into positions where they eventually take over. They signed him knowing a tyre switch was coming that could change everything about who their best rider actually is. That decision made sense in context. Managing what it produces is a different challenge, one that is arriving faster than anyone in the Yamaha garage planned for. Today, Toprak is adapting, and Quartararo is the benchmark. That is the current reality. But the regulations that arrive in 12 months do not care about current realities, and the manufacturer that signed both of them will have to decide, sooner than they expected, which rider their future is actually built around. Was Yamaha right to sign Toprak alongside Quartararo? Or did they create an internal problem they are not ready to manage? Does Sofuoglu's ambition change how you read Toprak's MotoGP project? And if Pirelli rewards his riding style in 2027, what does that mean for Quartararo's long-term position inside Yamaha? If you enjoy this kind of MotoGP analysis, subscribe. As the 2027 regulations take shape, the stories happening inside manufacturer structures right now are going to define who controls the next era. Leave your answers in the comments below.